This is a KLFY News 10 weather alert, brought to you by the Jim Olivier family of companies.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining us for our live coverage on continuing to track Hurricane Ida, and she is about to make landfall, as we know. And of course, we're going to send things over to our experts here in the KLFY studio.
Yes, meteorologist Chris Cozart has been tracking Ida for, what seems about a week now. Chris, where is she right now?
Just offshore now of Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish, as the 10 a.m. update just came out. So no changes when it comes to those tropical storm warnings or hurricane warnings. We have much of Acadiana under the tropical storm warning, which expects tropical storm conditions, really the winds, 39 to 73 miles per hour possible in parts of Acadiana. And then southeastern Acadiana, that includes Vermilion, Iberia, St. Martin, and St. Mary Parish. You're still in that hurricane warning. It's really St. Mary Parish that has the threat to see some higher wind gusts from this, since you're going to be so close to that western eye wall. Here's the latest from the National Hurricane Center. They did not increase the wind speeds with this. I guess they feel that it has pretty much peaked its strength, so it looks like it will be making landfall as a Category 4 hurricane. They can go back after the event and go through all the data to see if it was Category 5, but it looks like at the moment this will be a Category 4, a very top-end Category 4 at landfall. Winds 150 miles per hour as we have northwest movement. Now slowing down a little bit, 13 miles per hour, but still moving directly northwest, moving right over Terrebonne and Lafourche, and then up towards there's 7 p.m. this evening. We have it just southeast of Lafayette as a Category 2 hurricane. Still, the worst side of this system is going to be on the right side. There is Katrina, 16 years ago to the date that it made landfall there, as it was a Category 4 on approach as well before it started really weakening, but as it rolled over New Orleans, it really was a Category 3. So that tested the levee systems, and we know what happened there. The levees are supposed to be withstanding a Category 3. We'll see. As it gets closer to New Orleans, it will be weakening at that point later on this evening. There's a look at live data for 10 here this early Sunday morning. We are getting some of those tropical rain bands coming in now, sneaking into the eastern side of Acadiana. Some of those light to moderate tropical rains moving out well away from the center of rotation of Ida. It's trying to move across really the basin. I would not travel now anywhere over the Basin Bridge towards Baton Rouge. There's no reason to go that way. As we look down across New Orleans, Houma, those areas, again, we're looking at Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish. We're just starting to see the very northern extent there of what is a very powerful and unfortunately life-changing event here of a hurricane at major hurricane strength at Category 4. We were worried about that rapid intensification happening, and sure enough, it happened all last night. It really didn't get its act together until about 6 to 12 hours ago. There is Lafourche Parish, there is Terrebonne Parish, so that is just offshore there. Of those two parishes, we're going to put a little bit of a estimate on how far away it is. Still about 30 miles away, as it is moving directly northwest. Let's put the wall up there, and I'll move over that way. So it's moving around 15 miles per hour. We'll do the math, and that puts it into making landfall pretty much officially here probably in the next couple hours. So I would say anytime between 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. this will be over land, and from there it will start to weaken, but not fast enough. There's your satellite and radar right now. You see the right side, the east side of the system really has all the heaviest rains with it, and it has the strongest winds as well. The west side, that left side of that system, not showing much. That's why this entire time, since we've been talking about the forecast since really Friday morning, really trying to hone in on the impacts, we were walking this fine line, and we still are. I don't expect any really crazy westerly jogs here. I think the forecast path is pretty much set. How much this collapses at landfall, how much of those winds are able to expand a little bit away from center, that's going to be our equation, and how much our impacts are set up here. I think St. Mary Parish, possibly Iberia Parish, possibly St. Martin Parish, still under the threat to see wind gusts anywhere from 60 to 80 miles per hour, especially across St. Mary Parish there. So our southeastern extent there of Acadiana could definitely see wind gusts anywhere from about 80 to 90 miles per hour. There is the latest track, or at least how it all has been moving. It's been moving directly northwest. Now, the latest update has a little bit of a jog to the west more than anything. Don't be overly concerned by that. Sometimes these eyes do wobble, but you can see overall it's been moving directly northwest there towards Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish. And there is taking the historic track and taking the track of what the forecast is expected. Again, there was a little jog to the west. We don't want to see any more of that, that's for sure, because we are still walking a fine line here. But that was just a subtle little change to the west on that track. So that clear line is the historic track of what it has been, where it's been for the center of rotation, and then that red line is basically the middle of the forecast cone that we're used to seeing. So we don't want to see any more directions to the west, but definitely looking like it's lining up for the Terrebonne-Lafourche Parish line. That enhanced satellite is a scary looking one, unfortunately, and we're just about a year, or a little over a year away from what was Hurricane Laura, which was a devastating, life-altering event that was. And now we're 1 year removed from that, and we're looking at another one for the opposite side of the state. This is a little bit of a rarity. We can't look at that any other way. To have two of these type of devastating storms for Louisiana. Southeastern Louisiana, unfortunately, really looking at a devastating event with this. As we look up towards the Thibodaux and the Houma area, and even up towards New Orleans, a lot of that storm surge is going to go funneling right into these areas, Grand Isle, up towards Lake Pontchartrain. So it's really going to test the levee systems to see how well those really were built here. Winds over the last time they were going, they're flying through the system right now. They showed winds at 160 miles per hour. That may have been flight level winds, not necessarily those surface winds. We also have some buoy data out there, and I've yet to see anything that verifies the 150 mile per hour wind gusts that or 150 mile sustained winds that they're going with. Looks like the aircraft is currently now making ready to do another run through the eye here. You see where the current position of the aircraft is. So they are flying through this like crazy. Usually they have two separate planes, one that is kind of in the mid-levels of the storm, another one that's higher up. They also drop instruments through the storm that will collect data as it drops and then eventually falls into the Gulf of Mexico. So you can trust that the National Hurricane Center aircraft reconnaissance is really out there doing the best they can. You can see now it's really going all the way. They're offshore of Cameron Parish, western side of the Gulf of Mexico, so they're out of the area, right, or out of the storm at the moment, but I can almost guarantee they're about ready to make a 180-degree turn here and go right towards the center of that storm once again. They'll just continue to do back and forth as they continue to collect more data throughout the next several hours here. Visible satellite, just unfortunately, you can see how monster of a storm this is, easily able to see that eye wall. In fact, it's so large and so exposed that we're able to see the Gulf waters down from space. Future track is a little bit late with the landfall here. I'm going to have to try to find another model here. So we have to really compare what's happening right now and try to find the best model. We just can't show any models at this point because now we're in the event. So anybody that's showing still, here's what this model shows, here's what that model shows, that doesn't do us any good because the models are now, we're in the event. You want to find the model that is handling the event that's occurring at the moment. Future track is a little slow, but I like the way radar looks. So we're going to have to be up the timing on this a little bit. That shows 3:30 around landfall. Notice as it starts to lift to the north, a lot of those heavier rains remain over Baton Rouge and New Orleans, over towards Hammond and Slidell. The strongest winds will be, again, right there close to the center of rotation, weakening as it lifts to the north. Here in Acadiana, we really don't have much to worry about when it comes to the flash flooding threat, and then that northerly wind really kicks in, and that will push a lot of the water out of Delcambre, Erath, all our coastal communities. I think we deal with some of those issues for low water as we wake up tomorrow morning. Winds are gusting now. We're getting 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts from Opelousas down to New Iberia. Houma's yet to report a wind gust, but maybe that station has already gone, or not gone, but just not reporting correctly. 52 mile per hour wind gusts already now in New Orleans. We're going to see those really increase here in Acadiana. A lot of questions, what do we expect here? If you're Lafayette, eastward, 40 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts. We could see stronger wind gusts across St. Mary Parish, those areas. And then Baton Rouge easily could see some hurricane force winds at Category 1 to Category 2, and things will finally settle down from there. Power outage probability really over the eastern side of the state. There could be some sporadic issues here as we go through St. Mary Parish, possibly Iberia and St. Martin Parish. It really depends on how that eye wall really reacts when it starts to make landfall, and if it makes any type of little further movements to the west, which we're not expecting anything too crazy here, so don't get too nervous from what you saw on that. Of course, I'm meteorologist Chris Cozart here in the live DAP for 10 Storm Team Weather Center, keeping you updated throughout this morning on Major Hurricane Ida. Let's go back to the news desk with Caroline and Sylvia.